my dad texted us after Team USA beat Canada, and why they were in this position we'll also talk about, of
Mm.
this must-win game against Canada. It must win, and then you need help from Italy against Mexico. But so he was like, does Logan Webb actually have a Hall of Fame case or chance? And I thought about it for a second because immediately you're like, nah, gosh, he's so young, right? But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? This is like a projection thing. Like if Logan Webb is the same Logan Webb that he's been for the next 5 years, like what does this Hall of Fame case look like? And I thought it was kind of an interesting idea. Now, the reason why Hall of Fame is kind of on the mind of Giants fans is obviously Kent going in, Bonds not going in, but next year the possibility of Posey and Bochy. We always talk about the announcers as well. Obviously, Dusty Baker too, and we always talk about when's Krug and Kipe gonna get in. And so I started thinking about, yeah, like who other than those guys, like who would be kind of next on the list, and it might be someone like Logan Webb, like as far as someone who has a realistic opportunity. So I kind of looked it up, but before I even kind of dig into the numbers, what is your like instinct on the idea of Logan Webb kind of on the path to that level?
That's a tough one. I'm going to pull up his numbers real quick because I would say I want to see how many seasons. Let's see, we're going into our 29-year-old season here right now. I think he's going to turn 30 this season, right? Maybe it's near the end. Oh no, his birthday's in November, so this is technically his 29-year-old season because he doesn't turn 30 during the season. So he's pitched in, for the Giants for 7 years. He had the 2020 season in there. ERAs the first 2 seasons were over 5, but again, we're talking about 8 games in the first season, 2019 and 2020. Shortened season, 13 games, 11 starts. It got roughed up a little bit. He did lead the league that year in hit batsmen. That's kind of nice.
So that running sinker.
Yeah, that's heavy. That'll stick to your body too. He's actually hit 36 people in his career. There you go. Hopefully 36 of them were Dodgers. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But you look at the last 3 seasons, build on the last 3 seasons, right? 26, 27, 28 years old. He led the league in innings pitched all 3 of those seasons. Led the league in strikeouts last year. He has an overall ERA plus of 120. That alone, if he pitched 4, 5, 6 more years, having an ERA plus in the 120, 125 range with longevity, that could get you in. His FIP right around 3.01. Antiquated stat, but his ERA is 3.38. His hits per 9 right around 8.6, strikeouts per 9 around 8.4. Doesn't walk a ton of people, 2.1 per 9. It's going to be tough. I would say he needs at least 3 more seasons like he had the last 3. But then again, I think the line for getting in to the Hall of Fame for pitchers is probably going to be dropping over the next couple of classes. I'd say 5 years from now, especially. And Logan Webb's going to be more than 5 years from now, his class. But you're seeing guys go 5 innings, 6 innings. This is going to be one of the last guys who's going 7 or 8 innings, and possibly 9 innings. So I think when his time comes to get elected and he's up for election, let's say he retires in 4 or 5 years, that's another 5 years. So you're looking at 10 years from now. He's going to be a dinosaur. They're going to look at his innings pitched in his career and they're going to go, oh my God, that guy is in the Hall of Fame. Because again, you're looking at guys like Snell, yeah, Snell could be a Hall of Famer for sure as well. He has a better chance at Logan Webb, but he's only pitching 5 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings, walking a lot of people. So Logan Webb stats are going to look really, really good in terms of volume against a lot of the other pitchers. So I think that right there could possibly get him in, just the comparable stats, because you can't take him and go, well, him against Nolan Ryan, him against Madison Bumgarner even. It's not going to be much of a comparison because those guys those guys went 9 innings. They went 8 innings, 9 innings. It was a different era of baseball. So yeah, I think you're going to look at comparable stats and say, yeah, he's probably could get in if he keeps. Again, I want to see 3, 4 more seasons at least like the last three.
Okay, here's what the numbers say. The numbers say, now we're comparing it against guys who are already in the Hall of Fame. And like you said, that is always changing because of how baseball has changed.
Right.
He's going to need to be what you said and who he is as an innings eater and somebody who's, upwards in the mix for strikeouts. But he's going to have to do that for many more years, not just 4 or 5. He's going to
Yeah.
have to be able to do this into his like mid to late 30s more than likely. Now, the way that he throws, he doesn't it though the way that it looks like he throws at least is it doesn't look like he's really taxing himself too much. I mean, he doesn't throw 98. Like, let's just put it that way. He uses other things. So he's going to have to continue to be the innings eater. He's probably going to have to win a Cy Young. Now, he's finished in
Yeah.
second before. He did get a Gold Glove. He did lead the NL in strikeouts. So those are nice things for him. But the Cy Young seems to be kind of like, one of those things that will be necessary for him. His WAR, as it stands right now, is he's going to need to more than double his current WAR in order to get in the range of guys who are on the lower end of that. Roy Halladay, CC Sabathia, guys like that. He's going to have to more than double his current WAR. And we're looking at he's not going to get the wins that a lot of these other guys have. Baseball's way different. He's only got, I think, 70 wins maybe in his entire career. His strikeouts will be in the mix if he continues on that path. His, like I said, his WAR, he's going to have to more than double it. And his ERA is right in the wavelength of where those guys are. But as you stated, people, I think we care a little bit less about ERA. More than likely, he's kind of in that Hall of Very Good range. But if this Giants team starts to win ball games and compete with the upper echelon of baseball, it's some of that is going to be because Logan Webb continues to pitch at the level that he's pitching and maybe even pitch at a better level. Like, that is also what it's going to take. So if you are betting on the Giants becoming one of the better teams in baseball, you're probably betting on Logan Webb even taking it to a better level. But I thought it was just an interesting exercise because I never thought about it until my dad mentioned it in the chat the other day. But it's kind of now I'm gonna kind of be watching for it, right? You're gonna be kind of looking at it in that way.
Yeah, and I didn't mention the WAR, but looking at the WAR, I mean, 5.6 WAR in 2023, 216 innings. He had an ERA plus of 128. So yeah, I mean, I think 5, 10, 15, you're looking at 3 more years of a 5 WAR gets you to the 36 mark. And that's, kind of an entryway to get in. But yeah, and he's only under contract with the Giants for the next 3 seasons. That's what scares me the most. Now the ballpark, I don't think as a sinker baller for Logan Webb, I don't think the ballpark plays a lot into that, and that's strange to say for a pitcher at Oracle. I think his stuff plays everywhere, and we've seen it on the road. He can dominate also. He doesn't give up many home runs, and even on the road, he doesn't give up many home runs. strikeouts. So I don't think the ballpark's a big factor. So even after 3 years, if he goes somewhere else, I don't think that's gonna hurt him because of the way
Mhm.
he pitches. Now, if he starts losing velocity and the sinker ball doesn't bite, now you're in trouble, because, he's got a great changeup. His two-seamer rides a little bit, but he lives off of that sinker, and that thing is so nasty with that velocity and that bite. And maybe, maybe in San Francisco, the climate helps. You get kind of a heavier, more humid baseball, than you do in Colorado. So obviously, it's gonna play a lot better in San Francisco that way. Not the dimensions in the ballpark, but just the more the climate. But yeah, interesting. I like that. Okay, thanks. Tell your dad thanks for bringing that up because that is definitely something. It's out of mind. We haven't been thinking about. We've been
Yeah.
thinking about can we get past 500?
Yeah.
That's what we've been thinking about.
Kind of what you said about the later years in his career, you do have an example in Greg Maddux, right? They kind of
Right.
pitch similarly. Now, Logan Webb obviously wasn't as dominant as Greg Maddux was in his prime, but Maddux did he wasn't an ace anymore. He turned into like a 3 or a 4 or a 5 as his later years continued, pitching for like the Padres and such. But he was able to compete because he just didn't rely on having a 97 mile an hour fastball. It was more than that. And that's kind of what Logan Webb is too.